So as you can see, there are a range of videos for different circumstances. And the perfect person to explain more about when and how to create these videos is Karen Pawlowska, who has been working as a media consultant specialising in the creation and use of video for businesses in their sales and marketing strategies for many years. Karen is a founding director of Take One TV and works with many high street companies such as BSkyB, GSK and Slush Puppy, as well as helping many smaller UK businesses that are realising the value of video as a part of their digital marketing strategy through ongoing media packages.
Thank you, Kevin. That was really interesting. So now we've heard a bit about how we could get people to your website to see your video. Let's have a look at how that video needs to be put together in order to increase your sales. Having a video on the internet is like having your office or your shop open 24/7, and people will come through that door at all sorts of times of the day and night, and it's really important that what they see gives the best possible impression. It's like having a personal meeting with a potential client. One of the best ways of doing this is to use an attractive video format, which is generally speaking a 60-second piece to camera given by a manager of the company or someone who's an expert in their field. And you're not trying to sell them at this point, you're actually just introducing yourself as if you're talking one person to someone else, your viewers online. It's important that you talk directly to them online. And as the business owner, you have a reason for feeling passionate about what you do, and you need to share that in your video. Talk about something unique and the benefits that you would offer to the viewers if they were to engage with you. You then need to think about the content that you're going to put into your video. Think about why the viewer should buy from you. If you were a plumber, there are lots of plumbers out there, so why does somebody choose one person over another? So thinking about your own business, why would somebody choose to buy from you? As I said before, don't make this a selling thing. It's about what you offer that gives benefit, the difference you would make by somebody engaging to work with you. And you need to do that in a way that they understand the difference you could make. So there's no point in saying something like, well, we make good videos. You have to tell them why your good videos make a difference. And that content is really important. Try not to do more than 3 key points in your video. You've got 60 seconds, and 60 seconds can be either very short or very long, depending on how well it's put together. People will, however, only remember 3 key things, so keep to those 3 key points and give consideration to them. Do remember to include a call to action though, because you do want people to contact you afterwards, and if they're watching your video, they are actually interested in what you're talking about. And assuming that your video is on your website, they may actually have found it on YouTube and not be on your website yet. So do include your details so they can get hold of you easily. And if you can put a special offer or some sort of guarantee into the video, that will also help to just add that little extra push so that they're likely to take an action there and then rather than think about it. The next thing to consider is the script that you use. It's very tempting to say, well, I'll do this off the cuff because I present to lots of people all the time. I present at meetings and seminars, or I go to present to potential clients. But when you're doing it on video, you don't have the same kind of feeling as you do when you're doing something to a live audience. So it's important that you write your words down. And then once you've written your words down, I suggest you record it, maybe using your mobile phone, so that you can listen back and see how it sounds to somebody who might be watching you. You'll probably find that it doesn't sound quite the way you thought it sounded, and you'll need to go back and make some changes to it and probably make it sound more like a conversation than a written piece. Rewrite it from your spoken words, and those spoken words will be the ones that you'll use when you do your presentation. Then think about the timing of your script. When you do your words, you need to think that 3 words equal around 1 second. But you don't need to fill all of the space in your 60 seconds. You need a bit of air time around you so people have time to look at what you're showing them, if you've got some graphics in there, or to actually just take on board what it is that you're saying. A good thing to remember is to try and use shortened language where you can, what is natural in the way you speak. So instead of saying, I would like to have a sandwich for my lunch, you'd say, I'd like to have a sandwich for my lunch. And you'd use the I'd instead of I would like to. And that makes it much more conversational, and you don't need to be grammatically correct with things. That's for brochures and for printed materials. When we speak, we don't speak in sentences. And we often say things in spoken language which really doesn't look right, but it's how you speak to people. Then you need to look at the appearance of how you're going to appear on camera. The camera is your audience, so sometimes people put a photograph above the camera lens so that they can imagine somebody they're talking to, even just a smiley face, because it might actually make you smile a little bit more. Do consider also using a teleprompting device rather than learning your words off rote, because although you can learn the words, you will find as you're delivering to camera that there is an extra amount of pressure to get those words out, and just having a teleprompting device there with the words on it will help you to relax a little bit more. You can download some fairly cheap software that can be used on your iPhone or on a tablet, and it just puts the words in and you can control the speed at which those words appear, and that will take the pressure off you having to remember what the next thing is. And it really is worth considering that. We use that pretty well every time that we do pieces to camera for our clients, and it makes a big difference. Do have in your mind a clear beginning, middle and end. It's just the main points, so not the exact words, but the main points, so that you can take the rest from the auto cue and concentrate on how you're appearing on camera. The message doesn't have to be exactly as you've written it, because you might well say it slightly differently, but as long as you've got in your mind the beginning, middle and end, you'll find it'll work. The other thing that we get asked a lot is, what should I wear on camera? And we always say to people, well, you're promoting yourself to potential clients. How would you normally dress when you go to meet those potential clients? Would you be formal or would you be casual? And that's really up to you to decide how you want to come across. Most people tend to go for kind of smart casual these days, unless they're perhaps promoting gym membership, and then they might look slightly different. But whatever you would normally feel comfortable with when you're meeting a new client. Colours are important though in what you wear. If you're doing something on a green screen where you can cut another image behind you to put you in a different setting, then you obviously don't want to wear anything that's got green in it where possible. The technology is quite clever these days, but if you can avoid green, it will be quite helpful. But also strong colours such as a strong red, plain red, or a strong black don't come over terribly well on the television screen. Black in particular can really drain the colour from your face and make you look a bit sort of pale, and red can actually make you look quite hot because the red reflects up onto the skin. Television technology doesn't take that colour terribly well, so try and stick to pastel colours, something sort of softish, and certainly avoid anything with fine patterns, fine stripes or fine checks, because these will tend to bounce about on the screen when people are watching your video and it distracts them, and then they might miss some really important bit of information that you're trying to give to them. Do remember to smile and try to relax. If you smile, you will appear more confident, even if you're not feeling that confident actually. But it makes a huge difference to how you come across. Your whole voice changes when you smile. A little tip to this is try practicing in front of a mirror so that you get used to how you look and how your face feels when you're smiling and talking. And that will help it feel a little bit more natural when you're doing it on camera. The other thing also, I suppose, is to remember to breathe. People often forget to breathe as they're going along, particularly in 60 seconds. And that breathing, remember to breathe between paragraphs, will actually help you to smile and to appear more relaxed. So consolidating your key messages is really important. Make sure there's no more than 3 points, specific things that you want people to remember that are important and unique to your product or service that you're trying to talk about. Write, record and listen to your scripted words so that you are having a conversation rather than reading something. That's really key to making it something that people will engage with. Then speak directly to your audience in a clear language. Don't try and do things in third person. Make sure you're speaking as if you were having that conversation with somebody face to face, and steer away from too much technical language, because unless you're into a detailed learning piece, people really just want to get a simple message across, and that will be much more powerful and effective for you. Don't try to sell in your first piece of video if you can help it. You're really just trying to share some genuine information and to make an introduction. It's a bit like having your office or your shop door open and people are just poking their nose in just to see, what do you like? Who are you? Do I like the look of what you say and do? And it's just making that little bit of engagement. So selling comes later. Also, of course, finally, enjoy the moment, because if the audience is watching your video, they've chosen to click on it. They want to see and hear what you've got to say. So enjoy that one little moment and try to remember that they want to hear what you've got to say. So that's really the end of my presentation now. I hope you found that interesting and got some useful information out of it. We're now going to go over to Barry Saunders for the final presentation. And